When one of the most famous women alive, Amelia Earhart, disappeared, the world stopped. And now we're closer more than ever to finding out what exactly happened to her. But first, let's talk about how she disappeared. The year is 1937, and it's the peak of Amelia Earhart's life. At this point, she's an international celebrity. She is a pioneer for women and, in general, one of the pioneers for aviation. Her resume included setting records for speed and altitude, the first woman to fly solo nonstop across the US and Atlantic, and the first person to fly solo from Hawaii to California. In 1937, Amelia Earhart was beloved, a media sensation. And well, 1937 was also the last year we'd ever hear or see from her again. In May of that year, Earhart embarked on what would be her greatest challenge yet, becoming the first woman to fly around the world. It was her piloting and Fred Noonan as her navigator. The trip started in Oakland, California, making numerous stops along the way: Miami, Puerto Rico, Brazil, Africa, India, Australia, and finally Papua New Guinea. At this point, they've flown 22,000 miles with 7,000 miles to go to make it back to Oakland, crossing the humongous Pacific Ocean. Before that though, their next stop was Howland Island. This is where a refueling station was built specifically for Earhart and Noonan's plane. There was also a US Coast Guard vessel named the Itasca nearby that was helping them with the landing. At 6:14 a.m. on July 2nd, Earhart radios to the Itasca saying she's 200 miles from Howland. At 7:42 a.m., she radios in saying, "We must be on you, but we cannot see you. Fuel is running low. We're flying at 1,000 feet. The Itasca radios back, but it's becoming apparent that Earhart cannot hear them. See, it turns out the gear on Earhart's plane was not compatible with the gear that was on the Itasca. They couldn't get a two-way connection. Now, whether that's due to poor planning, miscommunication, it was really unacceptable. At 7:59 a.m., Earhart radios in to request bearings and that they were circling the area. Earhart was last heard from the Itasca at 8:43 a.m., attempting to get communication on where to land. Now, for a long time, that 8:43 a.m. message is where most people thought that we last heard from Amelia Earhart. During that message, she stated that she was traveling north and south, and historically, it's been highly suspected that Earhart and Noonan crashed on Gardner Island. Theories have ranged from them either dying from injury, starvation, or for a more grim theory, being eaten alive by the population of gigantic crabs on the island. However, the International Group of Historic Artifact Recovery, or TIGHAR, they published a 2018 paper that provided evidence that this was not the case. That 8:43 a.m. message by Earhart to the Itasca was not the last time we heard from her. See, after Earhart's and Noonan's disappearance, the US Navy put out a bulletin to anyone with a trained radio ear to listen in for distress signals from the frequencies Earhart was using. Turns out multiple signals were indeed picked up in the days following July 2nd. These were the words Earhart spoke in some of them. "Water's high, water's knee deep, help us, quick. We have taken in water, we can't hold on much longer. We have to get out of here, we can't stay here long." TIGHAR analyzed a ton of radio messages and find 57 credible ones. They all indicate that they came from Gardner Island. So them crashing on Gardner Island is a theory that has been proven correct. But there was something else that TIGHAR noticed about the radio messages that was very odd. They all came in a specific pattern only at certain times. And upon further investigation and research, these messages matched the tidal levels on Gardner Island. This indicates the plane was stuck in a coral reef because it needed to be turned on to broadcast the signal. And this could only be done during low tide. It's thought that during high tide, Earhart and Noonan were struggling trying to survive on the island. As soon as it was low tide, they would send out messages until the battery eventually ran out. Now, going further into this theory on Gardner Island, there were bones found there. I'm not going to get into the specifics of it, but I'll leave you a link in the description of why they believe it to be Amelia Earhart's. Also found on the island was a woman's shoe, a sextant made from 1918, and a popular 1930s cocktail. There's more and more information developing recently about Amelia Earhart's and her navigator Noonan's disappearance. If you want me to take a deeper dive and give you more updates on this as it unfolds, let me know down in the comments and I'll be on it. That's all I have for y'all today. Let me know what you think. Like the video if you like the video. Leave a comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything else. See y'all next time. You dig?